Hello, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Emmy the Cat Lady, and you join me back here in the capital wasteland. So this is going to be the final kind of locations video in Fallout 3 certainly for the time being. I want to look at some locations in some of the other games and things, but I thought it would be very interesting to take a look at the Keller family. So you might be familiar, if you played Fallout 3, you might have picked up one of these holotapes and found them just kind of by accident as you've been wandering the wasteland and everything. But there's 5 holotapes to find, and it pieces together quite an interesting story, as well as leading us to some extremely good loot. So I thought we would talk about that. So I'm here at the it's the VAPL 58 power station, which is where we can find one of the tapes. I might have already collected it, but I'm going to show you guys where to find them all. So the Keller family were a family of 6 from before the war, and I say you might have already stumbled across some of their holotapes in the capital wasteland, but if we follow the trail we can learn quite a bit about them. This is friend bear, so we're not worried about the bear. So the Keller family is made up of the mother and father and 4 children who, as far as I can tell, seem to be adults or at least older teenagers. And from what we hear, not necessarily a happy family. There definitely seems to have been some, kind of issues between some of the members of the family that we can discover. So the mother, we don't really know much about. We know she exists. She's addressed in at least one of the tapes, but there's not really a lot of information. We don't really hear from her directly or anything. There is a mini nuke which I will grab. We'll read that later. Then we've got Mr. Keller, the patriarch of the family, and it does seem to be that at least one of his children despises him. There's also a cut holotape that gives us a bit of an explanation for his eventual fate, which we will get back to later. Then we've got Candace, one of the daughters, and she witnesses the bombs, so we can actually hear her genuine reaction to the bombs falling. And she had plans to try and get into one of the vaults. Alex was one of the sons, and he was actually a National Guardsman that stole a code to a bunker in the National Guard armoury. And he basically sent 1 digit of the code out to each of his family members so that they would all have to be together in order to get in. But he was caught after doing this and was arrested, so his fate is unknown to us. Then we've got Tina, who's the other sister, and her transcript is what tells us what Alex did. And she leaves a message for an ex-boyfriend telling him that they're going to try and get into the vault, and if that fails then they're going to the bunker. And it does sound like there was maybe a pregnancy scare, but she's not actually pregnant, so she's still leaving him, so it's all good. And then finally we've got Ralph, who is the other brother. He leaves a message for Candace that he has no intention of spending Armageddon trapped in a closet with his father. He's got a mushroom cloud to walk into, so he would rather die than stay in the bunker with dear old dad. It's a pretty extreme reaction, so clearly there's some bad blood there. So we're going to kind of work our way through the tapes here. So the first one here, if we just basically follow the pylons north of the power station, and we find this little kind of shack set up around the base of one of the pylons, the holotape is on this bookshelf here. I've clearly already picked it up. And this is the one that's from Alex, so I think we shall try that again.
Tina, it's me, your brother, Alex. Listen, Mom would kill me if she knew I was contacting you, but she's being an impossible bitch right now. You have to come home. Do you understand me? This thing with China, it's not going away. We're gonna try and get into one of those vaults. If that doesn't work, well, I have a backup plan. There's this secure bunker, another sort of vault, inside the National Guard depot, and look, no matter what it takes, the whole damn Keller family's gonna ride this storm out, but you've got to get your ass home, now.
There we go. So I say we don't get any of the codes from this tape, but it gives us some interesting context and background. So the plan is the family are going to try and get into one of the vaults, and if that fails then he has this backup plan at the National Guard depot and he is going to sort that out, but he needs all the family to be together in order for it to work. So that's kind of telling us exactly, what the plan was. So the next tape is located north of Big Town. So let me just... This is where I have to remember where it is. So yeah, at the cemetery here. So I think we'll just fast travel to Hamilton's Hideaway. That's a wee bit closer. Yeah. Just random mobile brain. Not worried about that. Is that a boat? Hang on. Oh, okay, that makes sense. We're on the river. Yeah. Yeah, that makes total sense. Never mind. That's why there's a boat there. Yeah, we're just gonna cross the river. A bunch of people running across that bridge. There we go. You can see the church there. So this is the Hallowed Moors Cemetery, and I say it's just kind of directly north of Big Town. You can... Hello? Oh, duck off. Okay, that's fine. Not worried about you. But there are super mutants here, so you probably caught that from the gore bags and the big spikes. The super mutants have made themselves right at home in this place, but if we go into the church, we've got... Right, I'm gonna have to turn that radio off. Just... Oh, another mini nuke. Oh, it's an old board. Go away. Hand you out. I just did. Right, where's your friends? Okay. Oh, I think I might have accidentally killed the wasteland captive. Oops. Sorry, but at least she can't be tortured by the super mutants anymore. Well, there's a couple of skill books here. So there's a DC Journal of Internal Medicine, conveniently placed right next to the first aid box and everything, which is nice. There is also a big book of science somewhere in this location. Can't remember exactly where. It's the church lectern, which is kind of funny. So yeah, big book of science, and then we've got the Keller family transcript 2 of 5. So let's have a listen to that one.
Paul, it's me, Tina. I heard back from my sister Candace. We couldn't get into a vault. 101, 87, didn't matter. All full to capacity. But my brother Alex is a soldier, and he sort of stole the passcode for a secure army bunker. He did it for the family, but they caught him. Before they took him into custody, Alex, he sent us each one number of the 4-digit code. That way we all have to be together to get in. He gave me number 5, the day of my birth. So, I guess what I'm saying is, I'm still leaving. It's been fun. Kind of. Oh, and I'm not pregnant, so no worries.
Here we go. So that's the message from Tina. So we've got one number for our code, the number 5. And that was the message that she left for Paul, who's her ex, and they obviously had a pregnancy scare, and she's like, yeah, but I'm not actually pregnant, so it's fine, and have a nice life, basically. That she's kind of moving on, which is, fair enough. So that's number 3, and then third one is quite far away from here. So it is located at the Grizzly Diner. For the Temple of the Union. Grizzly Diner, I do have it. Oh, a mutant. Goodbye. Right, you let me fast travel now to the Grizzly Diner. Yeah, there we go. Yep, so sort of north of the Temple of the Union, you can find this place. I thought it was an unmarked location, but it is not. Name is well earned, I would say. Oh. Do I need to... Right, Here we go, here's the tape. So yeah, if we come around to the back, obviously somebody has made themselves quite at home in this place. In a interesting way. But we do have the Keller family transcript 3 of 5 here. And this is the one that's from Candace. So we'll have we listen to that.
Mom, it's Candace. Oh my God, it's really happening. I can see the cloud. It's so big. Mom, I'm so scared. I'm heading to the vault now. I'll do whatever I can to get inside. My number for the passcode was 7. Sorry.
Poor bastard. Almost.
Oh. Excuse you. Go away. Rude. Interrupting me listening to... Yeah, I'd say this place is actually a bit of a trap. When you come inside, the raiders all kind of... Oh, you're the enclave. Well, we don't care about you either. Go away. Anyway, yep, so that's Candace, and this is when the bomb has fallen. So you probably noticed that there is some static on that recording. That's going to be the electromagnetic, the EMP wave and the radiation that is going to cause interference in recordings and things. You'll see it as well if you've ever seen any pictures from inside the power plant at Chernobyl, for example, like the elephant's foot, which is the molten reactor core, and you'll see little kind of artifacts on the images and things, and it's radiation that causes that, because remember that radiation is subject to, you know, it's electromagnetic, it's in the same spectrum as radio waves and light waves and things, so it's it does cause interference in recordings and film and images, all that kind of stuff as well. So yep, next tape is at the Sniper Shack, which I think I've been to before. This one's definitely an unmarked location, but it's near Rockbreaker's Last Gas, which, if I remember rightly, is over here somewhere. Oh, hey guys. Hi. And you. What are you, your raiders? Yep, if combat was on, I think we'd have just stumbled into a battle between raiders and super mutants, but yeah, I was always going to win that fight anyway, just on account of having the Tesla cannon.
Back up! I got first dibs on the loot.
That was quite impressive, synchronised incidental dialogue there, well done. Anyway, yeah. We're just gonna head up towards the place. Oh, the enclave are here. I'm trying to find the location we actually need. So yeah, there is a enclave camp, but there's a shack up there on that cliff. So we're gonna make our way up to it. And this is known as the Sniper Shack. So it is a unmarked location, but it is definitely one that's worth seeking out. Not just for the Keller family transcript, but there's some good loot to be had as well in this place. We'll just get our way up the cliff. There we go. Yeah, you can tell I've already been here. Made a mess. So, abandoned shack. This is one where there's the two pet rad roaches, Jitters, and what's the other one called again? I can't remember. I'm not actually going to kill them. Fluffy and Jitters, that's right. So yeah, named rad roaches, and they've been getting fed some human flesh. Fair enough. However, the tape is here, and it's on the workbench. So I think I have already picked it up. But there's a bunch of other stuff here. There's a teddy bear that's been drinking whiskey. There's some books and whatnot in this place as well. So it's definitely worth coming to for that. Plus, you know, the cute little pet rad roaches, which is like a size. It's like one of the prison cells that's just been like shrunk down to be like a kennel. A cage for the rad roaches. But this is where we find the fourth tape. So if I've already been here, there we go. Keller family transcript 4.
Ralphie, son, this is your father. We can't get into the goddamn vault without you. Get your ass over here now. My 4 is useless without you, boy.
There we go. So that's from Mr. Keller, and he wants his son Ralph to join them. So he's given us the number 4. Candace has given us the number 7, and Tina has given us the number 5. So we've got one more number to find, which means one more tape. And this one is kind of in DC properly, or near enough. So where we want to go is the Anchorage Memorial. Oh, hi. Hi. Oh, geez, oh. Okay. Are you okay, sir? Sir. He's just a wastelander. Okay, he might be running away from the giant rad scorpion, which is reasonable course of action, to be fair. To run away from a giant rad scorpion. But I've just seen, so where Anchorage Memorial is there, and we are heading for that tent right there. So again, you know, we're on the edges of DC itself. There's super mutants body everywhere, so just bear that in mind. Really shouldn't jump into the water while carrying the Tesla cannon. That does seem like maybe a silly idea, but I have God mode on, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, so yeah, we've got this kind of wrecked semi-truck here, and behind it there's a tent. There's a super mutant and a wasteland captive. Maybe I should find a different weapon to kill the super mutant so that I don't kill the captive as well. Because that's a bit mean. There we go. It's not impossible. What am I in combat from? Who else is here? Is it you? Still in caution. Yeah. Let's just let you go free.
I'm alive. I can't believe it. I'm alive.
That's because I didn't use an AoE weapon.
Before they tied me up. You take it.
No, you'll need it more.
You'd know best, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
I have to go. Again, thank you.
You are welcome. Goodbye. and good luck. I think he just knocked over all the barrels. Anyway, yep, so there's just impact as well. And the final Keller family transcript is here, so let's have a listen to that one. Crikey. Just scroll all the way up.
Candace, it's Ralph. Tell Dad there's no way in hell I'm spending nuclear Armageddon trapped with him in a fucking closet. You can have my number. It's 6. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a mushroom cloud to walk into. Have a happy Holocaust.
There we go, final number is 6. And Ralph has no intention of spending Armageddon with his dad and wishes us a happy Holocaust, so that's lovely. Yep. There is one final kind of note that's relevant to this, but it is cut content, so it's technically not canon, but it does give us a bit of context for what we're going to find when we get to the bunker. So I'm going to see if I can spawn it in on the console. I forgot this one doesn't really like using the number pad for these for some reason. There we go, perfect. Diary of Candace Keller. So I say this was cut from the game, but it's obviously still in the files. Dad won't listen to a word I say. He keeps leaving the bunker to salvage supplies from the rest of the base. I understand he's bored, cooped up in here, but so are the rest of us, and the bunker is secure. Every time he leaves, he exposes all of us to that damned radiation. After all the effort it took to get us all in here, Dad's willing to throw it all away just because he's a bit antsy. I really hate him sometimes. So this will give us some interesting context when we get to the bunker, because he's basically, he won't stay inside where it's safe, and he keeps leaving to go and look for supplies. I have no idea what that explosion was. And she's getting kind of fed up with it because it's exposing them all to radiation. So now we need to get into the bunker, so we're looking for the National Guard depot, which is directly south of Vault 108, so it's actually not too far from where we are. So what I might do is just run around the outside of the DC ruins, and I just make sure I'm heading the right direction. Yep. So that might be the easy way to do it, so I will bring you back when I get there. Take that, Enclave. I was just going to pause recording until I got to the place, but then the Enclave just presented me with such a fantastic opportunity, and I couldn't resist just taking down one of their vertibirds. That's a funny little car. Right, okay, you're not aggressive. Are you lost
Yes?
as well? I'm feeling a bit lost. That works. Oh, more mutants. There you go. Rescuing all sorts of people today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I thought I was dead for sure. Here, I managed to hide these...
No, you're fine.
You'd know best, wouldn't you?
Yep. Carry on. Good luck. Okay. How close are we now? Still quite far away. Right. I'll just keep the recording going in case something else funny happens. Because, you know, Capital Wasteland is just generally chaos. I kind of wonder where this guy's going to go. I've never followed Wasteland Captive before to see where they went. Oh, he's cowering. What are you cowering from? Must be something around. Oh, he's going into the Friendship Heights. He's going into the metro station. Fair enough. We're nearly there, I think. Hey guys. Yep, just cleaning up the wasteland. Okay, we're definitely getting close now, yeah. What's that? A robot. Probably a robot. Oh, it's outcasts. Okay. Okay. Right. Well, I'm going in here. See you later. The outcasts are kind of hanging about, but yeah, we've got some Tectrons, so the enemies that you're going to encounter here are generally going to be robots.
All clear. Move along, please.
Let's head inside. So this place is a bit of a maze, so hopefully I won't get us too lost. I did write down directions, but I am very famous for, you know, getting lost. Anyway, so I had to go on a hunt for the radio to turn it off, because the music and, you know, copyright claims and all that kind of stuff. So here we are at the National Guard depot. So we're just right on the kind of outside edge of the DC metropolitan area, I guess, directly south of Vault 108. That's a good landmark. It is outside DC, so you don't need to go through the metro tunnels or anything to get to it. We come in here and we can see the place is a bit of a wreck. There's gas leaks, there's radiation, there's robots. Unsurprisingly, being a military location, it's a major target for opposing armies to get rid of, so something to bear in mind. But yeah, there's a lot going on here. Gas leaks and whatnot, so just keep that in mind. But we want to go up these stairs. And then we... Nope, not that one. There. Hop over this pipe. And then there should be an office that has a flag in it. Which is this one here. Door at the north end of the room. Oh. Ah. There we go. Door. Time to go. Done. Okay. Oh, this one. So there is there's a hole in the floor that lets you see the eventual goal. So I'll get rid of him while we're there. East into the room with the vending machines to find the door to the training wing. Okay. Ah, this is it. Right, perfect. Training wing. So we need to go through hole in the wall. And then head north. So we want to go to the east first. Into this room. And you should find a skill book in here somewhere. Tales of Junktown Jerky Vendor, yep. And there's also some safes and all sorts of loot and stuff that you can discover. So now we're going to go back to where we came from and go west towards where the massive amount of robots are. And we're going to destroy them. Should be looking for a supply room. This looks like a supply room. Yeah, look. So yeah, there's loads of stuff here. So we've got lots of ammo and guns. It's a National Guard's depot. Not a surprise. Oh, did I just knock something over? I think I just knocked something over. Okay. Yeah, we've got some bathrooms and stuff. But we want to go through here. Yeah, I want to go through here. Obviously, shooting range. Let's test it out. And maybe actually a little bit unfair, but I don't really care about that. But there is, there's a ton of like ammo and stuff to be found in this location, which is always a good time. Although it's kind of weird that the access to the offices means walking onto a literal shooting range, but what do I know about designing these things? Yeah, I've got more grenade boxes and various things. First aid boxes, yep. All sorts of useful bits and pieces here. And this will take us into the offices. So yeah, lots of cubicles. So you do have to go through quite a lot to get to this this place. Hi. Oh, I can hear a turret, but I can't see it. Hello. Never mind. There's more sentry bolts. More rads, probably. I think this is where we want to go. Then there's a bit where we need to climb up the rubble. This is it. Oh, there is a duck and cover. I knew I missed something. There is a duck and cover, I think, on this counter. Yeah, there it is. And the books, actually, this one is slightly larger than the normal ones, but it's there. So don't forget that. And then we just want to climb up this rubble. Go through here. Now this takes us back to the National Guard depot. There is a switch. And that opens the door in here. So I'm just going to jump down. Here we are. Yep, and then we press this switch. And we're into the National Guard Armory. So this door, and this is, like I said, there is so much loot in this place. We've got pulse mines, knives, batons, pulse grenades, combat armor, helmets, hazmat suits, grenades, mines, ammo, guns, radiation drugs, buff out, minigun that's kind of clipping through the table. So much stuff. So much stuff. Yeah, we've got water, stim packs, missile launchers, assault rifles, pretty much anything that your heart could desire. And as an added bonus, the small guns bobblehead lives here as well, so definitely a huge reason to come here. There is plenty of stuff free for the taking, but the bunker is through here, so we need to use the terminal. And because we have found all the tapes with the numbers, we can open it up. Access granted. So that's wonderful. There we go. Now, we're not alone in here. Well, I don't know if he'll be friendly to me because I've got the ghoul mask on. Yeah, he is. Okay, that's good. So, yeah. Glowing one. It's just labelled as glowing one as far as I know. Just checking on bats, yeah. So, labelled as glowing one. This is Mr. Keller. So say hi to Mr. Keller. He isn't doing great. But if we look at, the cut diary from Candace, that he keeps going out and, he's leaving the bunker to salvage for supplies and things, and he's exposing everybody to the radiation, and unfortunately that seems to have been the case. Because there isn't really any rads in this place, but it's quite an interesting setup. So obviously we've got, loads of food supplies and things, safe workbench, maintenance equipment. It's pretty well stocked for what it needs to be. It's partially collapsed, so because it's not really like reinforced concrete or anything, it's just kind of dug out like a mining tunnel or something and reinforced. But we've got a coffee machine, which, listen, if the apocalypse happens and I can't have coffee anymore, somebody's going to pay the price for that, I can tell you that much. We've got some bunk beds. Put the light on so we can see a bit better. Yes, we've got some bunk beds. And unfortunately, there's 3 skeletons here. So we can probably assume that this is at least 3 of the Keller family here. We know that Ralph didn't want to turn up because he didn't want to spend Armageddon with his dad. So Alex got arrested, so likelihood is this is Candace, Tina, and Mrs. Keller right here. Unfortunately. And then Mr. Keller, who sort of survived as a feral ghoul, which isn't great. So yeah, that's what's left of the Keller family. Of course, there is something else here. I didn't miss it, don't worry. I knew this was here. So you've got a quantum in here as well. You've got a US Army 30 handy flamethrower recipes. And some mini nukes and the experimental MIRV. So, MIRV stands for Multiple Independent Reentry Vehicle, and the idea is that they can use multiple nuclear weapons that are carried on a single ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missile, so that one launch can strike multiple targets. And some genius in the Fallout world decided to try it with the Fat Man. It's probably overkill, but it's a lot of fun. So this place is definitely worth a visit just based on the loot alone. There's so much to find in here, both in the bunker and then the storage area just outside the bunker. It's pretty amazing, but it's not the easiest to find to get into the actual bunker, because obviously you have to stumble across all the tapes and kind of piece it together and then figure out where you need to go. So it's quite a clever unmarked quest, but it's definitely worth the effort of exploring it. But also, you know, we get some pretty interesting first-hand accounts of, you know, exactly what happened, you know, in the immediate post-war era when things, you know, when it was all happening and people, I wonder if this is where Alex ended up. There's no skeletons here, but yeah. Bloody robo-brains, honestly. Stairs, yes. Thank you, I can see the stairs. Still more robots bumbling about, which is kind of annoying. I'm just trying to find my way out of here. Ah, there we go. Get outside. But yeah, the place is definitely worth a visit, you know, for the loot alone. But, you know, we get to see how people reacted and responded to the end of the world happening. And we know from most of the Fallout media, the games and the TV show and everything, that people in 2077, they knew it was coming. They were, you know, they were fully expecting that the nuclear Armageddon was going to happen fairly soon. Mr. House was entirely confident his predictions were correct, and they were. So we know that people were worried about it, people were expecting it, people were building fallout shelters under their houses, they were making plans for how they were going to handle the situation. And we get to hear some of that, you know, and the voice acting is generally actually pretty good on these tapes. So, you know, you can hear how upset Candace is when she's saying, I can see the clouds, it's happening, when she's scared. And you can hear Ralph just being like, nope, I'm not spending eternity with my dad in a bunker. I'm out, I don't care. He's obviously just decided that he would rather die, which is extreme, but potentially valid, depending on what the relationship between him and his father was. Presumably not a great one. You know, and Alex, who's trying to save his family and keep them all together, but ended up getting himself into a lot of trouble. And presumably he was either executed for treason or died in custody. We don't really know what happened to him. We know he was arrested, but we just don't really know what they did to him, or, you know, what happened to him. But yeah, so final thing. I'm just gonna make a quick. Nope. Just making a quick save file. Is to check out this fantastic new weapon. It's very much a gimmick. It's not really that feasible for regular use, because first of all, it does require 8 mini nukes at a time. But yeah, so that's it for me. Yeah, if you shoot at the ground with enough force, it would normally ragdoll you and send you flying up into the sky like the giants do in Skyrim. But apparently when you have God mode on, that doesn't happen, and it also never runs out of ammo. But if you really want to carpet bomb the entire capital wasteland with mini nukes, then now you know how to find the weapon that'll let you do that. So hopefully you enjoyed that. That's going to be Fallout 3 signing off in this series for the time being. And I think I'm going to take a look at some locations in Fallout 4 because I haven't really played Fallout 4 for quite some time. I haven't really done much on Fallout 4 for a while, so I think it'd be fun to get into some of the locations because certainly the Commonwealth has an awful lot of stuff in it. The map is very, very dense, and hopefully I can find some things that some of you guys haven't seen before. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. It definitely helps. I always love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments as well. That's always fun to chat about all these things, and sometimes I learn things from you guys as well, which is something that I always appreciate. So thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye.